Your life is coming to an end soon anyway, right? Get the hell out of this house and go to a hospice or something. This is our house now.
My husband looks like a demon. Yes, it is. We're going to live here for you, so be thankful. A sick person has a dedicated place, right? So is his adulteress. If I were a really sick person, I might have jumped on both of them right then and there. Listen to me carefully. This is hell waiting for you guys.
Can't you cook better food?
One day, Mark, my husband, suddenly complained about the food. We were about to turn 60 and had been married for 30 years. I thought we had gotten along reasonably well. I couldn't believe that he could complain about such a thing now.
How long have you been a housewife? Did you make this soup from the stock?
There are good ready-made stocks conveniently available these days. I don't think the taste is all that different.
What kind of housewife would do that?
What's that? He had never complained about my cooking before. He was an old-school traditional man, so he never really expressed his feelings. I had come to understand that if he ate it all in silence, that meant it tasted good. I couldn't fathom his sudden criticism. When I was done, he stood up holding a bowl. As I watched him with curiosity, he threw the soup into the sink. What are you doing?
As you can see, can't eat this crap.
He triumphantly waved the body in the air.
How dare you throw food?
The kids are eating it just fine.
I feel sorry for them. You've made their taste buds weird. I can imagine how bad a housewife our daughter is going to be in the future because of you.
Oh my God, what is wrong with you? You're not the kind of person to say such horrible things.
I've always been like this. I've been putting up with you for the past 30 years, but now that I'm turning 60, I'm realizing what the point is. I should enjoy the rest of my life more, so I'm going to do what I want.
What are you talking about? After saying what he wanted to say, he walked out of the house. My children and I were stunned. He did not come home that night. Since then, he only uttered the words, shower, dinner, and bed to me. No matter what I said, he either ignored me or replied coldly. I couldn't get a proper conversation going. If I pressed him, he would be like,
shut up! Don't tell me what to do. You should just shut up and be an obedient housewife. And quit your meaningless job too.
He yelled and grimaced at me. Seeing the devilish expression on his face, I was horrified by the change in him. He used to be mild-mannered. What had happened to him? My question was easily answered one day. It happened really out of the blue. One weekend when Mark was away on a business trip, I had a visitor. The doorbell rang repeatedly, and when I answered it to see what was going on, it was a strange middle-aged woman. A young man was accompanying her. Who are you? You must be Mark's wife. You're the bitch who's torturing him. Excuse me? She must be an acquaintance of Mark, but I had never met her before. Why was I called a vulgar name by the stranger? I was searching for the right words when a woman, who must have been younger than me, said, I'm dating your husband. What? I gasped at the unexpected declaration. He wants to be with me as soon as possible, but he says he can't get a divorce from you. You're a burden to him, so get a head out of this life. Listen carefully. Pay him alimony and get out of this house. My son and I are moving in with him. Leave now, you bitch.
That's right. Get out.
The man, who's supposedly her son, shouted in unison. While I was in shock, the two of them walked away. What the hell just happened? I murmured to myself. When I calmed down, it was easy to comprehend the whole situation. Oh, so that's what's been going on. The reason for Mark's sudden change was the woman. Cheating, huh? It might have been too early to call it a love in the golden age, but I guessed it was something like that. I remember that he had been taking much care of his style. Judging from his behavior, he must have been very much into her. I wonder if he was planning to divorce me sooner or later. I didn't notice any indication from him, but maybe he was thinking about it. I decided to seriously consider the possibility of the end of our marriage. I contemplated whether I should mention the visit or keep it on the wraps and gather evidence of the affair. I kept dwelling on it when Mark unusually spoke to me.
That's the result of your medical checkup, isn't it? Need for further examination. How pathetic.
You too, right?
Shut up!
He taunted me as he looked at my results, which I had placed in front of me. In fact, his diagnosis had also arrived the other day, and it was written as requiring further examination. Even though it was due to our age, it was certainly a shameful result for us as a couple. I decided to put the matter of his affair on hold and think it over later. First and foremost, I needed to be healthy. I made an appointment for another test. Mark was reluctant to go through the trouble, but he must have been worried and agreed to take the test with me. A few days after the test, I went to the hospital to get the results. He did not accompany me, saying he wanted me to ask the doctor. When I entered the room, the doctor greeted me with a serious look on his face. I got a bad feeling, which turned out to be true. I don't remember how I got home. I just remember the past years with Mark flashing in front of me. My love for him had cooled off, but I still have some affection for him. The unexpected situation brought tears to my eyes without my knowing it. How could I explain it to him and our children? I racked my brain, but I could not come up with a good idea. Mark came home late at night when I was sitting idle in the living room. I wondered if he had been with his adulteress again. He ignored me as usual, but I had to tell him. Honey, I have something important to tell you. He must have sensed the seriousness in my voice. He sat down across from me, a little bewildered. I was at a loss as how to start the conversation, and he spoke up first.
What do you want to talk about? I'm busy. Do you want a divorce? As long as you pay me alimony, I'll divorce you in a heartbeat.
I'm sorry?
You already know, don't you? I'm cheating on you. Yes, I'm crazy about her. She's young, beautiful, and a great cook. Her son is a very nice young man too, and he calls me dad. I really regret marrying you. I should have gone for a more beautiful, good-natured, and modest woman who would have respected me. He went on and on. Well, pardon me for not looking good and being a crass woman who disrespects you. You know yourself well.
Oh, come on. There was not the part where he should have been impressed. I wanted to smack him. I'm not thinking about divorce.
Ugh, then what's it about?
At least, not yet. I have something more important to tell you. The doctor said it's really bad, like half a year to live bad.
What?
His jaw dropped. Listen to me calmly. The results of the tests are quite alarming. 6 months to live means that if it's left untreated, the doctor said that with life-prolonging treatment, it could be a few more years.
Seriously? That's hilarious!
I could not continue with more details because he started laughing hard. He must have gone crazy from the shock. 6 months to live. Who could blame him? I couldn't believe it either. Even if there are no symptoms now, they will start to appear one after another. It needs to be treated sooner than later.
That's enough talking. I understand what you want to say. I don't care about the treatment, and I'm not going to pay for it.
Hey! I was shocked to hear him say such a careless thing. He was still smiling.
I guess you were going to say we should spend some quality time together for our last memory, weren't you?
I realized that he was right. I nodded in agreement. You're right.
No, thank you. I absolutely hate the idea.
I was about to continue. If I could, I would, but he interrupted me again. Why was he acting so high?
I'll do whatever I want for the next 6 months, and I don't give a shit what happens to you.
He stood up. Honey?
I'm leaving.
Not just me, but the kids too?
They're grown up. My role as a father and husband is over. Even if it's only for another 6 months, I can't stand being with you. No, it's because it's only 6 months that I don't want to put up with you.
He started packing his own belongings into his bag, leaving me astonished. You're going to live with her?
Aha! I didn't think there would be only 6 months left. What luck! It's a blessing from God.
Are you saying you're happy?
Oh yeah, I'm so glad. I won't have to see your face in 6 months, right? Nothing could be more joyous.
At that moment, a few remaining feelings for him vanished. How could I feel anything toward him if he hated me so much? I seriously considered a divorce, but there were only another 6 months left. I decided to be patient. Clenched my fist.
Well, see you at the funeral in 6 months.
He cheerfully walked out. 6 months were coming to an end in the blink of an eye, and I hadn't heard once from him since he left. Then, he suddenly appeared with the daughteress and her son in tow. Oh my God, what's going on with you? The man in front of me was a different person from Mark I remembered. He was emaciated, and his complex was white beyond recognition. His face had lost its blood, and his eyes were lifeless.
It's been a long time.
Even his voice had changed completely, becoming hoarse. It was as if he had aged 20 years. While I was astonished, he was smiling weakly.
It's about 6 months, isn't it? I thought you had already passed away. How much longer are you going to live?
Excuse me? I was puzzled by his incomprehensible question.
You look well, but your pickup is coming soon, right? We'll be living here as soon as you're gone.
What are you talking about? Our kids and I live here.
They're already working. I'll have them leave as soon as possible. I'll take the house, so don't worry.
I'm still living here. At that moment,
you know what?
The adulterous son pushed Mark aside and stepped forward.
Your life will be over soon. It doesn't matter when you moved out, does it? Get the hell out of here and move into a hospice. This is our house now.
The adulteress followed suit.
That's right. Our apartment contract has already been terminated. If you don't get out by the end of the month, we will be in trouble. A sick person needs to get the hell out of here.
I really couldn't understand what they were all talking about. At that moment, Mark raised his bony arm and pointed at me.
By the way, you look quite well. It's been 6 months since then. Why are you so glowing? I've been feeling sick all of a sudden lately, and I don't have much of an appetite.
I finally understood everything. He had been completely mistaken. Oh, my lord. Like the last piece of jigsaw puzzle falling into place, it fell into my mind with a thud. I couldn't contain myself and burst out laughing. What are you talking about? I'm healthy, of course. I'm glowing. The 3 people in front of me were surprised at my reaction. They must have thought I was bluffy and started talking as freely as they wanted.
That's good for you. You're getting close to the end. You're losing your mind, aren't you?
That's so true. I don't like very sick people. They become crazy. Get the hell out of here now.
Hey, Mom, I want the biggest room upstairs.
That's fine. By the way, how much savings does she have?
Kids are already working and earning money. She was working too, so I think she has a lot.
So, can we take a trip every month?
Yes, we can.
They were getting excited, ignoring me. They selfishly misinterpreted the situation and spoke whatever they wished. They needed to listen to me carefully. I was about to send them to hell. I confronted them with the truth. I'm sorry, but I don't think you guys will ever travel together.
What the hell are you talking about? You've made a will so that the kids will get everything, haven't you? That's too bad. We're still married. I have the right to claim my share of the estate.
I'll take those words right back at you. I'm not the one who's dying. You're the one with 6 months to live.
Huh?
That was 6 months ago. You don't have much time left now.
What do you mean?
A bombshell out of the blue described exactly the situation for him. His face turned paler than it could not possibly do. I told him exactly what the doctor had told me 6 months earlier. I'm in perfect health, but there's nothing more than can be done for you. You have about half a year to live. Even with life-prolonging treatment, you will probably only live a few years. The doctor wasn't sure if there was any point in treating you.
No, that's ridiculous. You're lying.
I'm not lying. If you want, I can bring you to the results.
You never told me.
You've left before I could tell you everything. I've been trying to contact you for the past 6 months, but you never responded. It's not my fault.
No, that's not true. Not true at all.
Even thought he didn't want to believe it. He must have known what I was talking about. His thin body seemed to succumb to reality. They said he had 6 months, but I thought he was probably in better condition. I would have thought that he had lost the ability to walk by then. His adulteress and her son pushed him out of their way and came forward again. Both of them looked to be in a panic. What do you mean? What on earth are you talking about? He has 6 months to live? So, it seems he had misunderstood his condition. I'm healthy and will continue to live in this house. The medical checkup 6 months ago revealed he had only 6 months to live. It's about time he becomes very ill. They both turned pale at my words. Are you kidding? You want us to go back to that shabby apartment again?
Mom, didn't the management say they already found a new tenant? They want us out by the end of the month, right?
What should we do? I'll call the management right away.
I don't think that's gonna make any difference. What are we going to do? Where are we going to live?
The confused adulteress turned to Mark. "This is not what you promised us. What are you going to do about it?"
How much longer do I have left?"
The adulteress and her son were screaming in panic. Mark was in his own world, mumbling and muttering. It was chaos. "Well, now that everyone is on the same page, I'm going to ask you to leave. You too, Mark." I was about to close the door. Then I saw Mark jerk his body as if he had come back to himself. Ignoring him, I closed it shut. And then I heard his pitiful voice along with the banging on the door.
"Open up! What am I supposed to do? If I start the treatment now, would I still alive? Hey! I can't breathe. My head hurts. Oh shit. I thought it was just a cold. I didn't think it was."
I thought about calling an ambulance for him. There were no feelings for him left in me, but it was the least I could do as a human being.
"Hey, let me in and take care of me. You're my wife. It's your job to support your husband."
When I heard his unexpectedly dramatic voice, my concern flew out the window. "Are you forgetting something important?" I asked through the door.
"What?"
I answered him coldly. "The house is in my name. Did you forget that my parents gave it to me?"
Oh, that's right."
Oh, come on. He seriously forgot. "And you mentioned that you're my husband, but when you left home, you said your role as a father and a husband was over. I would not support you as I am not your wife. Please leave."
"Oh no, wait. Let me in. Help me."
"Hey, what about us?"
"What about my room?"
The three of them were screaming for a while behind the door. They were taken away by the police who arrived at the scene after a neighbor called them. Then Mark and I filed for divorce. We had been married for 30 years. I had wanted to send him off as his wife in the end. My mind changed the moment he came back, expecting me to cross the bridge. I was surprised at how easy it was for me to decide on the divorce. It was an abrupt ending, as if our 30 years were all dreams. Mark cried and begged me to stay with him, but I felt like he was a stranger to me. The adulteress and her son were furious at the unexpected turn of events and abandoned him, who was fading away. They can only afford to live in an old, shabby one-bedroom apartment now. Her son refuses to work even though he is a grown man. They're supposedly living a hard time together. I could have sued her for alienation of affection, but I decided not to. It would have been too much trouble. I don't think she would pay me properly anyway. I assumed she and her son would never live a peaceful life unless they are reborn. So I move on. I don't know Mark's current situation. Even if he started the treatment now, it would be a drop in the ocean. He could have been admitted into hospice care. I got a call from him once that he was staying with his uncle for a time being, but the uncle's family apparently was not happy about it. Then I stopped hearing from him. I haven't heard the news of his passing. My kids left the house and started their own families. I'm living a happy life surrounded by my grandchildren, but who knows when God summons me? I want to be the kind of person who will be missed by friends and family. I want to end my life with them seeing me off. I doze off to such thoughts as I lie down on the porch in the warm sun.